Despite representing over 50% of the world's population, less than 46% of women worldwide were employed by 2018. South Africa also fares poorly when it comes to the number of women in senior or executive positions in both the public and private sectors. Labor unions say the latest employment equity report shows a lack of political will to address this.
We do believe that government has failed when it comes to addressing the issue of gender parity in the workplace. Many women still are paid less than their male counterparts despite doing the same job. But also, when you look at issues of employment equity, we have not seen enough political will.
If you look at the top management level, the latest report found that 64.7% of the positions were held by whites, compared to 15.8% by Africans and 10.6% by the Indians and or 5.7% by the so-called coloreds and a mere 3.1% by the foreign nationals. But when you look at that from the gender perspective, males occupied 75.1% and females only a 24.9% of their positions.
Women dominate the unskilled labor sector with over 47% of positions occupied by women. Experts attribute this imbalance in labor opportunity to the patriarchal system that still exists despite the implementation of relevant policies by government.
I don't think we can expect from the Department of Employment and Labor to do something significant, but for their so-called policing function. The real challenge here is that gender equity is an issue that comes from the heart. So unless there is a dramatic change in how we view gender equity, legislation in itself, which is a form of formalization, is not going to get us to achieve what we want.
Women professionals express different views about gender equity in the workplace.
I don't think government is doing enough to make sure that the genders have equal opportunities in the workplace. But as a country, we've come a long way. If you look back in 1956 and now, there's a lot of change, but there can always be room for improvement. But in terms of government doing enough, I don't think enough is being done.
I do think that there have been sprinkles of changes within the legal sector. However, I find that the legal sector is still dominated by males. And I think that we can have good policies and legislation on paper, but if government does not appoint agencies to monitor those policies, then the efforts of government become meaningless.
Statistics show that women are getting paid less than their male counterparts in the workplace for doing the exact same job. So of course, I do not believe the government is doing nearly enough to bridge that gap.
Days like Workers' Day highlight the plight of many female workers still discriminated against because of their gender. Ofentse, Setimo, SABC News, Pretoria.